everyone, I'm Ernie and I'm so glad you're here with us today. Today we are at the historic Chollar mine and we are going to pick up some ore samples to bring home. We're going to roast them, crush them up and smelt them, and probably maybe pan some of it out and see what type of material we get out of it. Before we grab our ore samples, I want to take this opportunity for us to look around at all the artifacts that has been collected over the years. When we look at them, we go back in time and see the tools and the equipments that the miners used back in the 1800s. And when you take time out to come and visit the Chollar mine, make time to take a look at all these artifacts. As we enter into the Chollar mine shaft, we will be able to see the original timbers that the miners had erected when they built this shaft back in the 1800s. You can also see the original ore cart tracks that are in the ground that they've used, and you can just sense the environment that the miners worked in back in the 1800s. You can also see some newer timbers that's in here, and that's because we've had several wet winters here and the ground got saturated and some areas began to collapse just a little bit, but they had done a fabulous job shoring up this shaft to keep it safe for all of us who tour the shaft. And speaking of touring, we're not going to go through the entire shaft today, is because I don't want to give it away on my channel, but I want to encourage each of you to take some time and come to the historic Chollar mine and tour this shaft in person, because then you'll be able to really experience what it was like to work in a real mine. The Chollar mine was first located here in 1861. The Chollar mine was one of the leading producers on the Comstock. And from the time that they founded this place, for the next 80 years, miners blasted and carted out some $17 million in gold and silver. In 1887, the Nevada mill was built on the site to process the vast amounts of ore taken out of the Chollar mine. You can see in these two photos just how large the buildings were to process the ore from the Chollar mine. Okay, we are about ready to pick up some ore samples and see if there's any gold or silver inside this ore from the Chollar mine. Okay, what we're going to do, we are going to pick up some ore next to this ore cart where there can't be a better place to pick up ore, right? We are back at home and at my mill. And before we close out this episode, I want to give you a close-up of some of the ore that we picked up from the historic Chollar mine. And it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to working with it. And so let's take a look. Well, this concludes our time here at the Chollar mine. We're going to take our ore samples and roast them and crush them up and smelt them and see what we get. We are going to wrap up this episode right now, and we will get to the roasting, the crushing, and the smelting and cupelling of our ore on the next episode. And I encourage you to join us at that time. But before we close, I want to say a great big thank you to my friend Andre, who owns this historic Chollar mine. When I showed up today, he said, "Ernie, just go ahead, do whatever you want to do, go wherever you want to go." And he pointed some key places out for me to go take a look at, and he said, "Do whatever you would like to do for your video." And so I took that opportunity and put inside this episode of things that I think that you would like, things that I would like, so that we can enjoy this historic Chollar mine. So Andre, I want to say thank you so much. Matter of fact, I just want to say, if you have the time, make the time to come and tour the historic Chollar mine. It is very special because this is only one of 3 or 4 real mines that was working in the 1800s, that the miners worked back in those days, that you can go in and tour and see basically the original workplace of those miners. And so it is amazing, and make the time and come and visit this place. I remember 8, 9, 10 years ago, I used to ride my mountain bike through this place. It was abandoned and it looked like a dump, but Andre had invested a lot of time, a lot of money in fixing this place up so that we can experience what the miners experienced back in the 1800s. So make the time and come visit the historic Chollar mine. And I want to say thank you for joining us today. And if you like this episode, smash that like button and just share this on your channel, because when you share it on your channel, there's somebody out in this world. Matter of fact, there's people from the Ukraine and from Russia who take time out from the war, I guess, and watch my episodes, and they'll watch yours, and we can touch people around this world just by sharing an episode. So I encourage you to share, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel and become part of our AU family. We would love to have you not only in our family, but also to converse with you, and so that we can get to know you as well as you get to know us. And so become part of our AU family. We're so glad that you're here, and we'll see you on the next one.